My name is Scott Blaze. And today, I want to talk to you about something most people don't realize is quietly draining their wealth. It's not the economy. It's not your salary. It's not even your debt. It's your habits. Specifically, the bad money habits that are keeping you stuck and poor. The truth is, most people don't fail with money because of one big mistake. They fail because of 1,000 small ones. The $7 coffee every morning. The unused subscriptions you forgot about. The decision to upgrade your phone even though the old one still works perfectly. Over time, those decisions add up. They shape your future more than your paycheck does. If you've ever felt like no matter how much you earn, you're always broke by the end of the month, this episode is for you. Because what we're going to do is peel back the curtain on 5 bad money habits that are stealing your future. And we'll talk about what you can do today to break them. Let's start with the first habit: lifestyle creep. You get a raise. You're excited. You deserve to enjoy it. Right? So you move into a nicer apartment. You upgrade your car. You start eating out more often. And suddenly, your expenses rise to match your income. You're not saving more. You're not investing more. You're just spending more. That's lifestyle creep, and it's dangerous. I once coached a client named Trevor. He doubled his income in 2 years. But when we looked at his finances, his savings had barely changed. Why? Every increase in income came with an increase in spending. A $20 raise felt like a green light to spend $25 more. He was running faster, but getting nowhere. Breaking this habit starts with a simple principle: keep your lifestyle one level below your income. If you get a raise, don't inflate your spending. Instead, automate a percentage of that increase into a savings or investment account. Let your future self enjoy the reward. The second habit is even more subtle: emotional spending. We all do it. We're tired, we're stressed, we're bored, and suddenly, that $150 online shopping cart feels like therapy. But here's the problem: emotional spending gives you short-term relief and long-term regret. I remember a woman named Elise. Every time she had a tough day at work, she'd open her favorite shopping app and treat herself. At first, it was little things: lipstick, accessories, shoes. But over a year, she racked up over $9 in credit card debt. Not because she didn't earn enough, but because she didn't know how to cope with stress in a healthy way. To break emotional spending, you have to pause before purchase. Create a 24-hour rule: if you feel the urge to buy something in the moment, wait a day. Ask yourself why you want it. Are you solving a problem, or avoiding one? Then find a non-spending way to soothe the emotion. Journal, call a friend, go for a walk. The craving will pass. The regret won't. The third habit is failing to track your money. Sounds boring, right? But this one is a silent killer. Because what you don't track, you can't control. I once asked a client, "How much did you spend last month?" She guessed $3.500. When we pulled up her statements, the number was closer to $5.800. That's $2.300 she didn't even realize was gone. And it wasn't on big-ticket items. It was food delivery, gas station snacks, app subscriptions, and impulse buys. Budgeting doesn't have to be rigid. It just has to be real. Whether you use an app, a spreadsheet, or pen and paper, start tracking every dollar for 1 month. You'll be shocked at what you learn, and that awareness alone will start shifting your behavior. Now, before we dive into the final 2 habits, if you're finding value in this episode, I want to invite you to like, comment, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. That one action might be what helps someone else take control of their money and their life. Let's get back into it. The fourth bad money habit? Not investing early. This one is tragic because time is your biggest asset, and yet most people ignore it. They say, "I'll invest when I make more." But by the time they start, they've already lost the one thing they can't get back: compound growth. I met Marcus when he was 38. He was making great money, but he hadn't invested a single dollar. We ran the numbers. If he'd started investing just $200 a month at 25, he would have had over $350 by retirement, even with modest returns. Now, to hit that same number, he had to invest almost 3 times as much every month. It's not about how much you invest. It's about how early. Time multiplies money. If you're in your 20s or 30s, start now, even if it's small. $50 a month today is worth more than $500 a month a decade from now. And if you're older, it's still not too late. But you've got to start today. The fifth and final bad money habit is avoiding financial education. This one's deeper than it sounds. Because the moment you stop learning about money, you start repeating mistakes. You rely on outdated advice, follow bad trends, and fall victim to shiny distractions. I remember when I first read The Millionaire Next Door. It shattered everything I thought I knew. I assumed rich people lived in big houses and drove luxury cars. But most of the real millionaires were living modestly, driving used cars, and saving aggressively. That one book changed how I spent, saved, and saw the world. Imagine how different your life would be if you read one book about money every month for the next year. That's 12 new perspectives, 12 chances to change your habits. And books aren't the only way. Podcasts, blogs, YouTube, there's never been more access to free financial wisdom. And yet, most people spend more time researching what show to binge next than how to build financial independence. Your ignorance is expensive. Every day you delay learning is a day you risk falling behind. So pick a topic: budgeting, investing, credit, real estate, and start learning today. 10 minutes a day adds up fast. Now let's go deeper into the mindset behind these habits. Because bad money habits aren't just about math. They're about emotion, about identity, about the stories we tell ourselves. I'm just bad with money. I'll never be rich. Money doesn't grow on trees. If these sound familiar, you're not alone. But these beliefs aren't facts. They're scripts you inherited from your parents, your environment, or your past failures. But here's the good news. Scripts can be rewritten. Start telling yourself a new story. One where you're capable, where you're intentional, where you're building wealth, not just dreaming about it. And your habits will start to follow. I once coached a man named Leo. He'd been in debt for 12 years. Every time he paid some off, he'd rack it back up again. When we dug into his beliefs, he told me, "I don't think I deserve to be out of debt." His dad had always struggled financially, and he felt guilty doing better. We worked on that, slowly, with journaling, reflection, therapy, and guess what? 6 months later, he was debt-free, and he stayed that way. Not because of a spreadsheet, but because he healed the story underneath. That's the missing piece for most people. It's not just about budgeting tips. It's about emotional clarity, about knowing why you spend, why you save, why you self-sabotage. The moment you get honest about your money story is the moment you can start rewriting your money future. So let's recap. Bad habit 1. Lifestyle creep, spending more every time you earn more. Bad habit 2. Emotional spending, buying relief instead of solving problems. Bad habit 3. Not tracking your money, flying blind financially. Bad habit 4. Not investing early, missing out on the power of time. Bad habit 5. Avoiding financial education, staying stuck in old patterns. You don't need to fix all of them overnight. Pick one. Focus on it this month. Track your wins, notice your patterns, and be kind to yourself. Growth takes time, but the rewards? Life-changing. I'll tell you what I tell every coaching client I work with. Your money habits today are shaping the life you'll live tomorrow. So ask yourself, are my habits building the life I want, or just maintaining the one I'm stuck in? If the answer doesn't sit right with you, that's your signal, that's your moment. Change one habit, and everything can start to shift. Let's take a closer look at how these habits form in the first place, because understanding their root makes it easier to replace them. Many of our money habits are formed in childhood. Think back. Did you grow up hearing your parents argue about bills? Or were you told not to talk about money at all? Were you rewarded with gifts instead of time or attention? These experiences shaped how you relate to money today. If money was scarce, you might hoard it. If it was used as a reward, you might overspend to feel worthy. If money caused stress, you might avoid thinking about it entirely. This isn't about blaming the past. It's about recognizing it so you can choose a different path. I worked with a woman named Diana. She had a high-paying job, but every time she saw a large balance in her account, she'd spend it down, not out of recklessness, but discomfort. She told me, "I'm not used to having money. It makes me feel unsafe." Once she identified that belief, she could begin shifting it. She started giving her money a purpose. She gave each dollar a job, some for the future, some for security, some for giving. That clarity created peace, and slowly, she began to trust herself with wealth. Your financial future doesn't depend on what you know. It depends on what you're willing to unlearn. And that brings me to a powerful concept: intentional money. Most people operate on default money. They spend whatever comes in. They react to expenses. They wait until bills are due. But intentional money is proactive. It's value-driven. It aligns with your vision, not your impulses. When you're intentional, your money reflects your values. If freedom is important to you, you save and invest. If generosity is important, you budget for giving. If peace is important, you simplify and automate. The most successful people I know don't just make money. They give their money direction. Let's break that down into action steps. First, audit your last 30 days of spending. What does it say about your priorities? Are you living according to your values, or your urges? Second, define your financial vision. Not just be rich, but what does wealth mean to you? Time, freedom, travel, supporting your family, owning a home? Be specific. Third, align your habits. Build a budget that reflects your vision. Automate savings. Cut what doesn't serve your goals. And fourth, commit to consistent learning. One podcast a week, one book a month, one YouTube channel that teaches you how to grow. Small habits, big shifts. And don't worry about being perfect. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You might overspend one week. You might miss a budget goal. That's okay. What matters is that you come back to the plan, that you forgive yourself, and keep going. The financial system we live in was not built to help you succeed. It was built to keep you consuming. That's why breaking bad money habits isn't just a personal victory, it's a rebellion. It's choosing intention over impulse. vision over noise, freedom over bondage. And you are more than capable of winning this fight. I've seen single moms eliminate six-figure debt. I've seen college students build five-figure businesses from their dorm rooms. I've seen retirees learn how to invest from scratch and double their income. They all had one thing in common: they refused to stay stuck. And now, it's your turn. Let's get even more practical. Because once you've identified your bad money habits, the next step is replacing them with good ones. Not by force, not by guilt, but by creating systems that make good choices easier. Let's say your habit is emotional spending. What if you set a spending threshold, say, $50, where anything above that must wait 24 hours? No impulse allowed, just space to think. That one change could save you thousands per year. If you struggle with not tracking your money, try the money date. Once a week, set a timer for 30 minutes. Review your expenses. Look at your accounts. Plan the next 7 days. Make it a ritual. Light a candle. Play your favorite playlist. Turn a chore into a check-in. If your challenge is not investing, automate it. Use a platform like Betterment or Fidelity to auto-invest $50 every payday. Don't think. Just set and forget. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting. If lifestyle creep is your trap, define your enough number. How much do you actually need to live comfortably? Anything above that? Funnel it toward your goals. Pretend that raise never happened, except now it's building your future. And if avoiding financial education is your pattern, gamify it. Create a challenge. One financial podcast per drive. One book before every vacation. Turn learning into lifestyle. I once worked with a couple, Maya and Josh. They were both teachers. Modest income, high stress, no savings. But they made a decision. They built a plan. They tracked every dollar. Cut back on eating out. Learned how to invest. 2 years later, they paid off $42 in debt and had $18 saved. Not because they won the lottery, because they built better habits. Money mastery isn't about magic. It's about method, and every method starts with a choice. So here's your invitation. Choose to break one habit this week. Just one. Maybe it's canceling the subscription you forgot about. Maybe it's finally downloading a budgeting app. Maybe it's reading that money book sitting on your shelf. Whatever it is, start. Start imperfectly. Start now. Because if you wait for the perfect moment, it'll never come. But if you start today, a year from now you could be debt-free. You could have your first investment account. You could be living with peace instead of pressure. And that is a future worth fighting for. Let's zoom out. These 5 bad money habits? They're more than just behaviors. They're beliefs. And beliefs can change. They must change, if you want different results. The system you're in will reward your silence. It will reward your autopilot. It will reward your avoidance. But your freedom, your wealth, your peace, those come from awareness, from decision, from action. So make the decision. Choose growth. Choose discipline. Choose wisdom. And know that you're not doing it alone. This community, this podcast, this journey, we're walking it together. I want you to be the person in your family who breaks the cycle, who builds the foundation, who creates the generational shift. Because once you do, the ripple lasts forever. Let's imagine that future. Imagine waking up without dread because you know your bills are paid. Imagine having an emergency fund that makes car trouble a nuisance, not a crisis. Imagine being able to give generously to a cause you care about without second-guessing your budget. Imagine walking into a store and buying what you need without anxiety. Imagine being able to say no to toxic work because you've built enough margin in your life to choose better. That's not fantasy. That's the result of small financial wins, compounded over time. But it starts with breaking the habits that keep you poor. And here's something else to remember. You're allowed to grow without shame. So many people stay stuck because they feel guilty about where they are. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've been in debt for years. Maybe you feel behind, but guilt keeps you looking backward. Growth requires forward motion, so let go of the shame. Forgive yourself, and begin again, smarter, stronger, and more determined, because you are not broken. You are becoming, and becoming is messy, but it's beautiful. You're going to learn how to say no to things that used to tempt you. You're going to build discipline where there was once chaos. You're going to create peace where there was once panic. You're going to change your life, one habit at a time. And one day, someone will look at you and ask, "How did you do it?" And you'll say, "I decided to stop letting bad habits run my life. I chose a new path." That moment will matter more than every dollar in your bank account. Because it will prove that you didn't just survive. You rebuilt, you rose, you transformed, and you can begin that transformation right now. Audit your habits, ask hard questions, make a plan, and take one bold step. The money you want, the freedom you seek, the peace you crave, it's on the other side of that first decision. You already have what it takes. This has been your guide, your reminder, and your challenge. My name is Scott Blaze, and I believe you're capable of more than you think. So go get it. Until next time, live wisely, spend intentionally, and keep walking toward the wealth you were meant to build. Before we end, I want to walk you through a short reflection exercise. This isn't fluff, it's strategy. Grab a notebook or open the Notes app on your phone. First, write down the one habit from today's episode that hit you the hardest. Maybe it was emotional spending. Maybe it was avoiding financial education. Name it. Awareness is your first weapon. Second, write one story you've told yourself about money that might not be true. Maybe it's, "I'll never be good with numbers," or "Only lucky people build wealth." Write it down. Then under it, write a new story, one you choose, one that empowers you. Third, write one small action you can take in the next 24 hours. Cancel that subscription. Set up an auto transfer to savings. Download a budgeting app. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Lastly, make a promise to yourself. Not to be rich tomorrow, but to become wiser with every week. Say it out loud if you have to. I choose to build wealth with wisdom, not impulse. I choose to grow. This is how change begins. With honest questions, simple steps, daily decisions. I hope this episode didn't just inform you. I hope it challenged you. I hope it reminded you that money doesn't control you. Your habits do, and habits can be shaped by you. You're not powerless. You're powerful. You're not broken. You're learning. You're not behind. You're just getting started. So don't walk away from this and forget it. Let it spark something. Let it ignite a decision. Let it begin a season of transformation. Because 5 years from now, your financial life could look completely different. Not by chance, not by magic, but by choice. And if you ever feel alone in the process, come back to this space. We're building more than bank accounts here. We're building lives of freedom, integrity, and purpose. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. And I'll be right here for the next step of your journey. Keep going. Let today be the day you mark a turning point. Not with fireworks or fanfare, but with quiet, Focused resolve. Most people wait for some magical sign to change their life. But transformation rarely announces itself. It whispers. It nudges. It begins on days like this, when you decide that who you've been is not all you can be. So make the shift. Close the gap between your values and your behavior. Build systems that support your future, not sabotage it. Choose long-term peace over short-term pleasure. That's what wealthy people do. And that's what you're becoming. Bit by bit, brick by brick. And one day, wealth won't just be something you chase. It'll be who you are. Not because of luck, but because you changed your habits, and your habits changed your life. I'll see you next time.